Well, welcome back, folks. I think you all know about the Laguna Hills Lodge. It's a wonderful place to stay if you have guests visiting you. It's absolutely beautiful over there. I am privileged to have not only Bill Crawford, who is the general manager over there, but his dad, Bill Crawford Sr. Welcome, and you're the gentleman who started Laguna Hills Lodge, among many other things around this area here, including helping in some ways to finance part of this community when it was building up. Welcome to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. Tell me how you started the Laguna Hills Lodge and what motivated you to do that?
Well, I bought it when it had 72 rooms. I financed it for the men that built it. I financed it for, there were 60 old men, each put in $5,000.
Okay, and then you bought it from them a while later?
Right, I bought it from them.
All right, it's a beautiful place to stay, but beyond that, you also helped, you had a savings and loan at one time in this area, and you helped finance quite a bit of the development. You were kind of an integral part of building this community. You were here back then, and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit beforehand, but about how beautiful the Laguna Hills Lodge is, and talking to you and your dad about all the roses that are there, the bougainvillea, and you wanted to make the place special and nice, and not just a place to stay overnight and just go to sleep and leave, but a place that people can enjoy the grounds, and I think that's very, very important.
Most of our business is repeat business.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah. And we have some pictures here, and way back and during the time when Laguna was village was, well, in its infancy, really. That goes back, that's the old Taj Mahal building. And we got some wonderful photos here. Do you remember back when this area was developed? From what I hear, the area around here, of course, the immediate area, there were no other homes or anything else. It was really sort of out in the middle of nowhere at one time, wasn't it?
It was. That was out in the middle of nowhere. They had lights on it and fountains, the water.
I bet it just glowed like a beacon.
Oh, yeah,
huh?
right.
Different time back then. When you look at it back then, and was it a quieter area? Obviously, there wasn't all the traffic you have now around here.
Oh,
it
no.
Probably was a very soothing place.
This was a farm. This was the Molten Ranch.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for, I'm trying to remember some of the things I've heard about it. And Bill, tell me a little bit about, you've grown up with the lodge, and it seems like it's been a passion of your dad's to make just a wonderful place to stay for people that are visiting. It's just perfect, because it's not, as I was saying, other places that you might see small lodges, they're not as beautifully landscaped. You really wanted to try to make this a very special place to people feel comfortable at.
Yeah, we want to make it, as you said, feel comfortable, and it's a family-oriented place. This is a family-owned. And as Dad said, in 1968, some elderly gentlemen from Leisure World put in some money to buy the land and build the first two buildings. And they did this because when the kids would come visit Grandma and Grandpa, there wasn't a hotel anywhere around. You'd have to go to Laguna Beach or to Santa Ana. So they wanted their kids to visit, so they built this hotel for a spare bedroom, because the condos in Laguna Woods or Leisure World at that time weren't that large. So you don't have a place for the kids to stay. So you might guess, these gentlemen started, and with so many of them, after a few years, they don't necessarily agree on things. And so in '72, they wanted to sell it, and Dad bought it. And since then, he's added the gardens. There are 350 varieties of roses on the property, and 450 rose bushes, 80 bougainvilleas. So it's not the sterile brick and mortar kind of thing at all.
Yeah.
And we try to make it a fun place for families, big pool and like that. So that's the plan. And we have a nice offer for Laguna Woods, which has worked well, and thank you for your business, because there's a ton of it. They get a 30% discount because they're
great.
Laguna Woods. So.
Well, people say a lot of good things about it. Mr. Crawford, do you go out there and still go out there and tend to the roses, and or at least enjoy them?
Oh yeah, I love it.
I know what you mean. I like gardening too, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
work. And to keep up your grounds, I mean, look at this beautiful picture here. To keep the grounds up, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of dedication to keep that beautiful all year long, especially with roses. And it's well kept. We often have people that tell us they have family members when they're visiting that stay there, and always hear great compliments about it. You also offer there, you have a little cafe or a little place people can have breakfast as well, right?
Right, we have a continental breakfast in the morning. We call it enhanced, and there's about 70 items, 70 items,
Wow.
which is a lot. So complimentary continental breakfast comes with it. But if guests want to go to some local restaurants, the location is fantastic because, as you said earlier, it's right across the street from Mall Ken.
Yeah.
And so we've got Chick-fil-A, Ruby's does a great breakfast, Caro's, and then King's and Elephant Bar and those places do a great job. So it's convenient, you know, families visit or for residents of Laguna Woods to walk across the street. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, it really is. And I want to also compliment you. Your website is absolutely beautiful. It's well laid out. And of course, you can go on it here and make your room reservations. There's a photo gallery here, and it's very well done. It's a wonderful place to stay. And, you know, I invite everyone, when you have guests in town, have them stay over there. You've got a great deal. Just give Bill a call, and he'll set you up at 830-2550. And it's what you built over there is absolutely wonderful, and it's sort of a kind of a lasting legacy because it'll be around there a long time, and it's a well-known place and a neat place to stay.
Yeah. Well, when I came here, Cortese was king of the hill here.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he ran the show.
Yeah.
I got along with him. Not many people did, but I did.
Well, very good. Well, we're glad that you did, and we're very happy that you were able to help so many people get into residence here, and of course, kept up with the Laguna Hills Lodge. Very nice.
So let me ask you a question. You used to tell us stories of meetings with Mr. Cortese and the architect and the attorney about the development and the planning of Laguna Woods. Can you tell us anything about those meetings?
He had built Seal Beach Leisure World,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where he started. It was located just east of Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And Long Beach had a lot of retired people from Iowa and the like that lived close to downtown
Yeah.
Long Beach. And he came down here, and when he came down here, I came down with him. And I did his financing.
You know, the Seal Beach one, a lot of people were coming out originally for World War II and working all the different areas there, and then
Right.
they ended up staying.
Yeah. Oh, it was a very nice area, and it was cheap. You know, the units were.
Yeah, I bet they were back then.
I think. Well, he built and sold 6,700 units in 18 months.
Wow. That's quite
Nobody
an
ever did that
accomplishment.
before.
Yeah, that is something. And so
He was a visionary.
when he came down here to this area, you came with him, huh?
That's right. You know, he used to have a helipad out here, and he used to fly all over, and he didn't think anybody else knew anything about leisure worlds,
Mm-hmm.
and he was right. He was in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
He had a monopoly,
Yeah, he did.
and all of the employees loved working for him because he was very generous with the sales force. He paid the sales force very well.
Oh, very good.
Do you remember what the units sold for originally?
Originally in here, well, in Seal Beach Leisure World, they sold for as low as 6,700.
Wow. So that's the price of a golf cart nowadays.
That's right.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's right.
Well, it sounded like that was an exciting time, and to see this area grow over the years from basically farmland to what it is
Well,
now.
He had more nerve than anybody else. And the reason he had more nerve is he understood the business He understood, he designed it.
Mm-hmm.
Seal Beach Leisure World, he poured slabs for 14 units a day. And down here, he poured slabs for 8 units a day. That's a lot of units.
Yeah, it is.
When you say, we're going to move cabinets into this 4,000 units, that's a big job.
Yeah, it is.
And but he had good guys that worked for him for a long time. Murray Ward was his superintendent.
So a lot of effort went into it back then. It was a brand new concept, and obviously it took off.
He didn't think anybody knew anything about it but him. and he was mostly right.
Well, it certainly was a success, and just like your lodge was a success.
In fact, where the lodge was where the barn was.
Well, not a barn anymore, is it?
No.
No. Well, again, I think having you both on has been wonderful, and especially you, sir, to hear about all the history. And, as we have been saying, that the Laguna Hills Lodge is a wonderful place. It's part of the history of this area. So maybe have your friends and relatives stay in a little history.
Most of our employees have been with us a long time. We have employees that came to work there in 1978 and are still there.
Wow.
Yeah,
it says you treat them right.
And we hired people from the same families.
The average tenure for somebody in the hotel business is 3 years. Ours is 15.
Wow.
So it's quite a while. And thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it too. And again, Laguna Hills Lodge, I think all of you know where it's at, but right across from Laguna Hills Mall, and their number is 830-2550. And you can go online, just go ahead and do a search for Laguna Hills Lodge. It'll come right up, and you can get all your information, make reservations for your out-of-town guests, or I know a lot of you at times are having your Manors remodeled. Great place to stay, and they'll do you right over there.
Okay.
Thank you to the both of you, Bill and Mr. Crawford. You're Bill, he's Mr. Crawford.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very
I'm Bill,
much.
too.
All right, you're Bill too. All right.
Some of my employees are still calling me Bill.
All right, very good. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be back in just a moment.